What's up, Bears fans? Before we jump into today's show, while the Bears are on bye week this week, help me out. We are 27 subscribers away from 57,000 on the channel. That is an awesome milestone we're trying to get to. Let's try and get there before Sunday Night Football kicks off tonight. 27 more of you guys. All I got to do is hit that sub button for free daily Bears videos. With that being said, let's jump into today's show. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham, and on today's show, we're going to take a look at the perfect 2023 offseason for the Chicago Bears. Bears projected to have the most cap space in the NFL with over $110 million. Should have a high draft pick. 5-step plan to really be in good shape to make the playoffs, hopefully, next season. So let's go ahead and dive on into it here. Number one, signed defensive tackle Daron Payne from the Washington Commanders. Now, Payne could certainly get franchise tagged, and that's definitely a possibility. But if he does hit free agency, this is a guy I would zero in on if I was Ryan Poles and this staff. I mean, what he can do as an interior pass rusher is tremendous. 51 tackles on the season, 15 tackles for loss. He has 8.5 sacks, going to reach double digits most likely as an interior rusher. 5 pass breakups as well. He can swat passes at the line of scrimmage. And what did Matt Eberflus say when he was asked about this defense? You need that 3-tech. You need that 3-tech defensive tackle. Well, the Bears don't have any impactful defensive tackles. Justin Jones is a decent rotation guy. Maybe he can be your number 2 next to a guy like Daron Payne, but you need someone who can be disruptive on the interior of this defensive line. Now, you need defensive linemen everywhere. You need edge rushers. You need more than just one guy like Daron Payne, but I think that would be a good place to start. Bringing a guy like this in here, he's young, he's athletic, he's disruptive, he's capable, he plays with an edge. I think this is a player I would focus on, and if the Bears could find a way to bring him in, might be $20 million per year, I think it would certainly be worthwhile. Now, should the Bears sign Daron Payne this offseason, what do you guys think? Type S for sign or P for pass. I'm all in on Daron Payne. Let me know what you guys think. All right, let's go ahead and move to number 2 of the Bears' perfect offseason. Trade down in the first round of the NFL draft. Now, as we're filming this, games are going on, so this can certainly shift. But right now, the Bears have the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Now, shout out to the Rams and Baker Mayfield for pulling off the magical win over the Raiders the other night. So they picked up their 4th win. They are now in the 4th slot there. Detroit has that pick because of the Matthew Stafford trade. Now, if Denver loses today to Kansas City, the Bears would actually fall down to 3. But you look at this, and with the Bears' remaining schedule of Philadelphia at home next week, Buffalo at home the week after, sure, those are at home, but let's be honest, those are long shot games at best. At Detroit, a team who could be playing for a playoff possibility there, and then Minnesota at home, who's certainly in the playoff race. If the Bears lose out, they're guaranteed a top 3 pick. They are, and they will be underdogs in all 4 of the remaining games. Now, I still think it's possible they would win a game down the stretch. I wouldn't pick it necessarily, but they've been close in a lot of games, so it wouldn't completely shock me. But if the Bears lose out, at worst, they would have the 3rd pick in the draft, and good chance they'd have the 2nd pick because all they would need is Denver to win one more game down the stretch of the season. And the reason this is important is because if you get a top 3 pick, trading down can get you a lot of assets in return, more draft picks, a couple more this year probably, maybe a first-round pick next year as well, and you got a lot of needs to fill. So if you can get more picks, that's important. All over the offensive line, you need pieces. The entire defensive line needs revamping. We already talked about Daron Payne. Wide receiver, we'll talk more about receiver in a minute. Cornerback, I think you could use a player there. Linebacker, the point is if you trade down and get more picks, that gives you more capital to have more darts to throw if you're Ryan Poles and hopefully fill some of these needs this offseason. Now, sound off in the comments. Should the Bears trade down from their first pick in the draft, whether it's the number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7 pick, whatever they end up getting? Again, if they lose out, it'll be a top 3 pick. Let me know what you guys think. Type T for trade down or type K for keep that pick and, draft Jalen Carter or Will Anderson or whoever. Let me know. What do you guys think the Bears should do with their first pick? Now, today's show is sponsored by Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Bears now to download the app today. Are you wasting money on useless subscriptions? You probably are, because 80% of people have subscriptions subscriptions that they have forgotten about. Maybe for you it's an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. There's this great app that I use that helps me keep track of all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions that I don't even use. You might have heard of it. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill. What this app does is it shows you all of your subscriptions in one place. Then you can cancel whichever ones you don't want. All you got to do is click the cancel button next to Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime Video or whatever the case may be. You might even find that you've been double charged for a subscription, and that Rocket Money is going to help you be informed of that as well. So get rid of useless subscriptions. Most people pay over $200 per month on subscriptions. That adds up, folks. RocketMoney.com/BearsNow. Download the app today by using our link, and listen, save some money each month because you probably have subscriptions like I did. I forgot I had Xbox Live still. I've been paying for that for a couple of years. Haven't even been using it. Rocket Money helped me cancel it. RocketMoney.com/BearsNow. Check the description in the comments of this video for that link to click and download the app today. All right, next up in the perfect offseason plan for Chicago, add 2 more receivers. You look at the depth chart here. Obviously, Darnell Mooney's out for the year, but him and Chase Claypool are going to be here next year. Obviously, Velus Jones will be here. We'll see how big his role is. But after Mooney and Claypool, you don't really have anything that you can point to that is substantial, right? And there's even questions with those 2 guys. I like Mooney a lot. I like Claypool, but he's got a lot to prove. But I think you got to add at least 2 more guys that can contribute. You look at the draft, there's going to be some players here, especially if you trade down to later in the first round, maybe like closer to pick 10 to 15, somewhere in there. Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison could be in that range. We'll see where Jackson Smith and Jigba goes after missing basically this entire season. Josh Downs out of North Carolina is a player I like. Jalen Hyatt has come onto the scene this year for Tennessee. Now, free agency isn't super strong, but there are some pieces. Juju Smith-Schuster's having a nice year. He might have a 1,000-yard season. Allen Lazard, I'm very interested in playing well this year. He knows this system as well, coming down from Green Bay. Jacoby Myers, it would be a solid number 3 type of receiver. McCole Hardman, a speedy guy that can do some different things. Marvin Jones getting older. He'll be 32, but a vet that can make some things happen as well. Again, the free agency pool is limited, but I think if you draft someone in the first or second round, sign one of those free agents to pair with Mooney and Claypool, that gives you 4 deep that you feel at least pretty good about, and then maybe Velus Jones steps into his own and gives you a little something, and maybe you fill out that room with either St. Brown or N'Keal Harry, bring one of those 2 guys back. The point is you got to have more weapons on the outside for Justin Fields. All right, let's stick with the offense. Upgrade at center. It's a must. You have got to upgrade at the center position. We'll look at, again, some free agents and draft guys here for the Chicago Bears. Connor McGovern and Garrett Bradbury, a couple of guys I am monitoring there on the free agency pool. You look at the draft as well. John Michael Schmitz. You've also got Ricky Stromberg and Cedric Van Pran, a couple of guys I would be interested in drafting as well. Here's what I know. You cannot run it back with Lucas Patrick and Sam Mustipher. It is simply not an option. You cannot run it back with those 2 guys and with one of them potentially starting. Lucas Patrick, I wish it would have worked out. The guy played 2 series the entire season at center. Mustipher, he's a backup at best. I think we know that. You've got to upgrade at the center position. Now, if you want the Bears to upgrade at center, type me down in the comment section because I want them to upgrade. You should want them to upgrade. And I think you got to get someone stable in there because that center-quarterback relationship is very, very important. And then final one here is on the offensive line as well. Sign Elgton Jenkins, who could play center. He's played all 5 positions on the offensive line in his career. He is incredibly versatile. But I think if you were to sign him, I would probably sign him to play right tackle or maybe left guard if you were to cut Cody Whitehair. Elgton Jenkins has played all 5 spots in his career on the offensive line in Green Bay. Again, he would know the system as well. Now, you look at a potential Bears offensive line. If you upgrade at center and if you were to sign a guy like Elgton Jenkins, from left to right, you could go Braxton Jones. Cody Whitehair, we'll see. He could be a cut candidate. Keep that in mind. A free agent or a draft pick at center. Tevin Jenkins at right guard, and then Elgton Jenkins at right tackle. That would be an improved offensive line, and that's got to be a priority. It just does for the Chicago Bears. I think there's been some positive developments from the offensive line this year. getting Braxton Jones. I think he's good enough to be your left tackle moving forward. Tevin Jenkins has played well at guard. That's a plus. But those other 3 spots are very, very much in the air, including left guard. But if you improve center and right tackle, I'd probably bring back Whitehair for another season at left guard. He's a vet. He's not great, but he's a guy who knows how to play. Now, what's the top need for the Bears this offseason? Just overall, I just went through a 5-step offseason plan to improve things, but if you were in charge, what would be something that you would absolutely do? Go ahead and give your thoughts down in the comment section below. All right, just to recap the Bears' perfect offseason, step number 1 is sign defensive tackle Daron Payne in free agency. Need that guy on the defensive line to be a disruptor. I think he can fill that role. Trade down in the first round of the NFL draft to get more picks. Add 2 more receivers, probably 1 in the draft, 1 in free agency. And when I say 2 more receivers, I mean guys that can contribute, not, the Dante Pettises of the world. Upgrade at center with someone in free agency or in the draft. And then finally, sign Elton Jenkins in free agency. I don't think he will get franchise tagged, and I think he's a player that could absolutely help regardless of what position he plays with that versatility. All right, that's going to do it. Hope you guys are enjoying your bye week. Cheer on the Broncos today, because if they somehow upset the Chiefs, the Bears would maintain that number 2 pick in the NFL draft. I'm out of here. Harrison Graham signing off. We'll see you tomorrow with another video.